Good morning, friends. This is Laura with Potpourri of Life. It's early in the morning. I've been up since about 3:30. I went to bed early. I told my husband, I said, I'm out for the night. And so I walked to the bedroom and I don't remember another thing until I got up. I got up a couple times in the night, but about 3 o'clock I said, I laid back down and I'm like, no, I'm up for the night. So I might sound tired, I might look tired, but I got about 5 hours rest, so I can take a nap later. What I want to do this morning, though, is Thanksgiving is on Thursday, and one of the things that I have learned to make, and I misplaced my recipe somewhere, so part of me is going to be doing this from memory. I've never liked cranberry sauce from a can. My husband thinks it's wonderful. I've never liked it. I never liked the tartness. I just didn't like it. Maybe it's because of the tin flavor from years past or something like that. I don't know. But when I started making my own cranberry sauce, it's fabulous. And the best part about making your own cranberry sauce is you're getting the fresh ingredients. There's no preservatives. But you can preserve it if you make too much. And last year I did. I made some and I put it in jars and I water bathed it down, similar to what I would do for applesauce or jams and stuff like that. And it turned out great. So I had cranberry sauce throughout the year. So what I want to do today is share with you how I make cranberry sauce. And the first thing is get your cranberries. Here in New Hampshire, there is no local place to get fresh cranberries. So we have to buy packaged cranberries. So the first thing that I do, typically you might use just one bag, but because I plan on preserving what's extra, sorry, I can't use scissors and talk at the same time. So I'm going to be putting two 12-ounce bags of cranberry sauce in here. Now I typically like to go through and pick out all the bad ones, which you should. Just kind of go through, pick out what berries look bad. The cool part comes when we start cooking it, and I don't know if you've ever made cranberry sauce, but you use the whole cranberry and you let it cook down. So here we go. We're gonna I just like to take the moisture out of here, even though I don't need to. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blueberries. Just to get that extra water out, because what I want to use for water is my filtered water when I'm actually cooking it. One thing I learned with these tools, one time I was making a berry salad, and it was when my youngest daughter was home, and I used this, and then I got tired of waiting for it to stop, and I took the lid off. I had blueberries everywhere. So, warning, don't lift the cover until it's done doing its spin cycle. So, these cranberry packages are 12 ounces each. You can get them in your grocers right now, and usually at this time of year, between now and Christmas, even New Year's, they will be at their best price. I can't say the price is all that great. Right now it's pretty shabby, because I used to be able to get a couple bags for less than $2, and now I think they were like $1.19 a piece, and I'm not too thrilled, but you know what? I like homemade cranberry sauce versus not. So, are we all done in here? Now, how much cranberries is this? Because somebody is bound to ask, well, how much cranberries? So I'm going to measure these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6, 7. So about 7 to 8 cups. And what I'm going to add to that is, hold on a second. Sorry about that. My alarm was going off. I have a medication I take at certain times, so I have my alarm go off. In an hour, it'll go off again for the chickens. So that way I get up on time to feed them. So it's about 5 o'clock if you wanted to know. So I've got about 6 to 8 cups of cranberries, but it's actually 24 ounces. I only took 2 of the cranberries out of the package. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cup of filtered water in here. No, I did not wash them with filtered water. I washed them with the regular tap water, and then I put it through here. So now I'm going to cook with the filtered water. If you have the resources to have plenty of filtered water on hand, I would recommend rinsing it through that. But I didn't worry about that today, so looks like I'm going to have to fill this up too. So this is about a cup of filtered water, and I think I'm going to have to put in another cup. Like I said, I'm doing this from memory because I've been looking for a couple of days as to where my recipe is. So we're going to start with just a cup, and I'm going to turn this a little bit. And as you can see over here, there are different things that I'm going to be adding into the cranberry sauce. And this is going to be very low sugar. And the reason that I make my cranberry sauce with low sugar, and you can make it with regular sugar, I generally have made it with organic sugar. You do what you want. There are different sugar options. I took out the stevia because I grew some stevia. Where did I put that? So I have some homegrown stevia. I don't know if you can see the green. Actually, it is green. It's kind of a grayish green. But I was going to put that in, and then I thought, my husband doesn't like stevia, and I want him to have, I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Let's let him enjoy it too, right? Another option would be the organic, the organic sugar. And I decided I didn't want to do that. You could do brown sugar. I don't recommend it. I think if you're going to choose, do the organic white. And that comes out, that sugar is not pure white. And so it's kind of like a tannish cream color. Those are actually a better sugar for you. But it's your choice. And I am going to add another cup in here. Half a cup. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to get this heated up. I'm going to get it heated up so that the cranberries start popping, and you're going to start seeing that, and you're going to start hearing the popping sound. So this is a medium heat based on my stove. I have a gas stove, and it doesn't always necessarily do right for the temperature, but it's okay. The other things that I'm going to be adding in here are going to be some blueberries. So I haven't decided how many I'm going to do, but because I'll be using blueberries and some other things, like maybe a salad or something, I'm going to wash 2 of these packages, and these are, oh goodness, these are pints. I went up to the farm stand on Thursday. They're not open this week, obviously. So I made sure I stocked up on my berries. Hold on, let's get this going. moves too much on the cutting board. So one of the things that I will be adding for sweetener is I will be adding in some apples and some oranges. I wasn't sure if I was going to do the orange because I don't really, my stomach doesn't really do well with oranges, but it's just going to be added for a little bit of sweetness and taking the tartness out of the cranberries. And the reason I'm choosing these items is, first of all, it's good for a variety of reasons. Cranberries, you know, are great for your urinary system, but also this vitamin C in oranges are very healthy for you. The blueberries are antioxidant. And then I'll be adding in cinnamon and some other things. So just hang on, and as I go about this, it might take a little process. I don't know if you hear these popping, but they're starting to pop. So what I do for the oranges, let's see. I love scrubbing the oranges because the citrus smell comes right out. Now, some people might not think to wash their oranges. It's a good idea if you do, because of whatever you might find on the outside. And even still, I may not have gotten all the cooties off it. And I'm trying to be quiet because my husband is sleeping. Oh, this is awesome. I don't know if you'll be able to see the cranberries starting to pop. I'll show you. And this is what happens. I don't know if you can see that particular one. And so that's what's going to happen. They're going to start popping until they're, and once they're all done, I can add all the other ingredients. So, sorry about the camera. It has an attitude. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the orange in half. And if you've never made orange juice, fresh orange juice, it is the bomb. It really, it does taste good, and I enjoy it. Last year I showed my grandson, my oldest grandson, how to make it. And he had fun, and he loved drinking it. And he was so adorable because he took the orange juice and brought some to his David's dad, which was kind of cute. I don't have the strength my husband has, but this will be quite, you know, in terms of getting some. Now, it didn't give me a lot. It is about, it's about 2 ounces of orange juice. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm actually going to take these and I'm going to put some birdseed in there and put them outside for the birds. Okay, they're popping up really good. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to turn that down just a little, and I'm going to let it continue. Now I want them to be all softened up, and that's what the goal is when you boil them in the water. The other thing that I'm going to add in there for sweetness is an apple. Pretty soon you're going to see car lights going by because teachers will start going to school soon. So if you see flashing lights, that's what that is. Now, do I need to wash the apple because I'm not going to use the peels in it? It's your choice. I prefer to wash them before I put them in there because you don't know what's on here, whether it's organic or not. You really don't know. So this is going to be my sweetener that I'm going to be adding in there. So just peel it like you would if you were going to have it for a snack and take the peeling off. Sorry that I'm not showing you exactly how I peel my apple. I'm assuming that you know. So I just take the edge off. I came over here to watch this too. And then I easily go and I take the peel off and try to take as little peeling off as possible. Could you put the peeling in? I wouldn't, because I'm not looking for texture here. I'm just looking for flavor. So as the cranberries boil down, I am basically getting the other items prepared to add in. So as you see, I'm putting things in like a paper bag type thing. That's my compost bin that I take out twice a day as I'm cooking, or once a day depending on how much I'm cooking. Because paper bags actually decompose and it's brown matter that goes into my compost. So we put coffee grounds, extra things from the foods that I'm using, and I do give the chickens a bunch of stuff. But there are some things I found that they just don't like. So I don't bother giving it to them if they don't like it. So as that's working, I'm going to cut these down into very tiny pieces. I hope you are all looking forward to your Thanksgiving time. We still don't know what we're doing, and what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of getting things ready for that day so I don't have to spend all day in the morning in the kitchen. So let's see, this is looking really good. I'm going to show you. And as you can see, it's looking great. It's starting to get thick, which is what you want. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in these apples. And if you've ever made applesauce, apples do soften up in the water and while they boil. The other thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add in at least a cup of fresh blueberries. If you want, you can certainly add in some frozen blueberries if that's what you have. I just happen to have gone to the farm stand, so I have the blueberries on hand. So we got the cranberries, we have the blueberries, and we have the apples. Now while that boils down, I think I'm going to add 1 more cup of blueberries to this. Now while that's cooking down, one of the things that you can do with your orange that's left over You can kind of like put seeds in it. Now, the citrus is great for the birds that are out there for the winter and stuff. But you can also add in a little bit of peanut butter and then stick the seeds right on. And some of the seeds that I give the birds, the cardinals and the other birds that are around in the wintertime, is the same type of seeds that I give my chickens. So I don't have a problem sharing with them. And I might even throw in some millet seeds on top, because they need that kind of protein as well. So that's what I might be doing with that afterwards. Okay, so like I said, you could put stevia in for a sweetener. We already have the apples. We already have the blueberries. So those items are offsetting the cranberries, and it's still going to be pretty good. And it's getting pretty thick here. And I'm going to add that 2 ounces of orange juice. Now, could you use regular orange juice from the refrigerator? Absolutely. I prefer to have fresh squeeze because maybe I just like it better. I don't know. And plus, sometimes they put additives in the store-bought orange juice, and that's usually the juice that I have a problem with. Fresh squeezed, I don't so much. Now, fresh lemons, doesn't matter, I have a problem with it. But I do put fresh lemon juice in some of my baked goods. I just can't make lemonade because, ooh, my body does not like it. All right, what else do I want to consider? Okay, the other thing that I want to put in here, and it's going to be just a small amount. I am going to put 1/8 of a teaspoon of ginger root, and it's all ground and stuff. I had some fresh in the house, but I've had to put that in the freezer because I was afraid it was going to go bad, and I could have sat here and ground it down in front of you, but I'm not going to do that. All right, so we got that in there. The next thing that I want to do is, while it's cooking down, I am going to throw in some cinnamon sticks, if I can break it down. Try to find a weak one. Later I'm going to be making some elderberry syrup. So I just put a couple sticks of cinnamon in here. Now, how many sticks? I would do an amount of maybe 2 to 4 of the 4-inch. You know, it depends on what you have. And I'm going to have to pick those out later. So if you don't want to pick stuff out, you just... And I might leave it in there, but probably not. I'll probably take it out before I serve it. And you'll be able to tell. Okay, so now I want to put in some nutmeg. And I just sprinkle a little in. That might be half a teaspoon of nutmeg. If you want to use fresh or ground cinnamon, I would do maybe about a teaspoon because you're just looking for the flavor. Now, one of the things that I also add, okay, I've got the ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon. All right. I have maple syrup on the back, you know, just in case we still need a little sweetness. I tend to try to not make too many things with sugar, and that's why I'm sharing why I'm using the apples and the oranges and stuff like that for that sweetness to offset the tartness of cranberries. Now, doing what I'm doing is not taking away the benefit of the cranberries. Now, this is some homemade vanilla extract that I've made. I've got some more that I got to put into some bottles. So I just put a little bit in. I would say that might be, I don't know, half to 1 teaspoon. I really like adding my own vanilla to things. Not everybody adds vanilla to the cranberry sauce, but it is a nice thing to have in there. Okay, what I'm going to do now, because it's getting to where it's almost ready, I'm going to start gently mashing it because I want those blueberries mashed down and the softened apples to be mashed down. So you can use the back of a wooden spoon if you don't have a potato masher. You can you know, you can do it that way, and I suppose you could put it through a food processor. I like to do it a little bit gentler than that. Oh, I don't see, you guys can't see. Sorry about that. And so it's not going to be a smooth cranberry sauce that you get from a can, but it will be thick because we are boiling it down some. And the goal in making my own is to have less sugar, to have all nutrients that are beneficial for my body as well as my husband's. Now, if he doesn't like it, he'll go and open a can of cranberry sauce. We always try to have cranberry sauce on hand anyway. Now you'll be able to see that the cinnamon sticks are still solid in here, which is what you want. So I'm going to be letting that continue for a little bit. Now I could have made my life easier and just put regular cinnamon in it. So make your choice as to how you want to add your cinnamon. Okay, now this is down on low right now, so that's what I'm doing, is I'm letting it cook down a little bit more, and you can see how thick it's getting. Because I'm not making jelly out of it, I'm just making a sauce. It will not get to that of like a jelly. You can make cranberry jelly and other things. I was almost going to put some elderberries in it, but I decided not to. Okay, this is still a little bit tart for me. So what I'm going to do, I still like the flavor, it's just a little bit tart. So I am going to add in, there are a variety of other sweeteners out there, and I'm going to do another video on alternate sweeteners that are out there. But for now, what I'm going to do is, and my choice is to use maple syrup. It's natural, it comes from nature, of course, and this is from New Hampshire. Now I'm not sure if getting it local is better than not, I don't know. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of maple syrup in here. I'm going to start with that at least. And I'm going to do the whole thing. And I would rather have this than to have the sugar. You know, the white sugar. Now, is this good for me? I don't know. I prefer to have more of a natural sugar than the white sugar in a cranberry sauce, most especially when I'm trying to make something that benefits our health. So I'm going to let this cook a little bit longer, but I'm going to just check the flavor. Actually, it's perfect. It still has its tartness, but it has a little bit of sweetener. So between your cranberries that are really tart, I put in 2 bags. So that's 24 ounces of cranberries, fresh cranberries. You can use frozen cranberries, okay? When you use frozen cranberries, be sure that you still wash them and make sure that you pull out the bad cranberries. Kind of just quickly go through, see if there's any cranberries that are no good. You can use fresh or frozen blueberries. Typically, my blueberries are in the freezer, and I do have some in the freezer, but I picked some fresh ones up because of the holiday coming in. Plus, they were there in a good price. And so I had 2 pints of blueberries. Now that should add a little sweetness, but it has the antioxidants in it that are really good for you. The next thing that I did was, let's see, I chopped 1 apple. peeled it, got rid of the seeds and the core, chopped that down. You can chop it down a little finer than what I did. I don't have a problem with this little bit of a chunky type sauce. I'm actually excited about this. So you have 1 apple, you got 2 pints of blueberries, 2 bags, which are 12 ounces of cranberries. So we've got that. We took 1 orange, and remember to wash your fruit. Let's see, the 1 orange, I just squeezed it. I didn't do the orange peel, and I'm okay with that. You can do that if you want. I didn't grate it, and I should have done it before, but so you can add the grate from your orange. That's why it's really extra important that you wash your orange. Now the benefit, you know, a lot of people might think that, oh, I'm just going to cut it. I'm not going to eat the peel from the apple. I'm not going to. Your knife is going through. Once it touched the edge of your fruit, it's actually any germs that are on there, any dirt or any bacteria that's on there could get into your fruit. And I'm not trying to be a germaphobe, because I know it might sound like I am. I'm really not. There are some things that it's just like, okay, that's gross. This, you do what you want to do. If it's from your backyard and your stuff is fine and you wash it, you know, that's fine. You don't have to scrub it down if you don't want to. Your choice. Now, I'm not going to be upset if you did that, if I came to your house and you didn't wash it and then you tell me later you didn't wash it. I might tease you a little bit. But, so this here is getting down to where I like it. Let me finish what I added in here. I added a couple sticks of cinnamon. You can use ground cinnamon, just a couple teaspoons. 1 teaspoon would be sufficient, or half a teaspoon. Nutmeg. I think I added, what, half a teaspoon, quarter to a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. I sprinkled it. Maybe half a teaspoon, okay? Start with that. Then I added in 1/8 of a teaspoon of ginger root. Now I could still add in more, but I'm not. And then, okay, so I did that, I did that, I did that. I got the fruit. I added in a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Oops, I'm moving the camera. Sorry about that. But before I did, I added some vanilla extract. Now, I would recommend having, pure vanilla extract. You can get that at the grocery store, and it's very, very expensive. So if that's not in your budget, I understand why you might not be able to do that. You can make your own vanilla, and I do that. But if you've ever bought any Madagascar, and I use Madagascar beans, they're expensive. So, you know, you have to do with what's in your budget. And to make vanilla extract, it takes a while, because you have to take the beans, slice it, put it in some alcohol. I use vodka for mine. Some people use bourbon. I make my husband a batch. Let's see, I don't know if his is here. He likes me to make it with rum with his. And this particular one still has vanilla beans. I'll top it off with some more rum, because you can reuse those beans 1 or 2 times. Okay, now this is getting, it's having an attitude in there. So I'm going to turn this off so it can gently, I'm going to show you what it looks like. And it looks pretty amazing. And I think that is going to be a delight. So what we'll do is, okay, did I get all the information in there? And then I added the maple syrup. Add the maple syrup at the end. Some people like the tartness of cranberries. It's really good for you. But I don't like it that tart. My husband, I don't know, he likes that canned stuff, and there's a lot of stuff put in that, so I don't think he likes it as tart either. So I liked adding the maple syrup. In the past, I have used organic sugar, but sugar tends to give me a headache. And there's other things that can cause a headache. So this here is just a healthier option. Now, so what can you do for vanilla extract? You don't have to put it in if you don't want to. It's just an added flavoring that I tend to enjoy. And plus, since I make it, it's all that much more special. Let's see, the maple syrup in your town is good, but like I said, it's not like honey where local is better. Could you have put honey in this? I suppose if you have honey. I've never tried making it with honey, but it is an alternate, healthier sugar substitute compared to regular sugar. Sorry, when I do stuff, today I'm just having, it's still early. So what I'll do is I'm going to pull together my sugar options so I can share with you some sugar options that you might have in your everyday use for your teas or for your baking and stuff like that. And but this stuff here, this is ready for Thanksgiving. And what I'll do is I'll put it in a jar sufficient for 2 to 4 people. And what I'll do is I'll can up the rest. And oh, and if you don't have a canner, and you do water bath for about 20-25 minutes, and make sure the water is boiling before you start your timer. My next thing is I'm going to try a steam canner, but I haven't gotten it yet, so in time I'll be able to do that. Hopefully, maybe next summer I'll get that. But you can can up what's left. Now you can also freeze it. You know, what's the best of it all? I prefer to can it. But I've also frozen applesauce, and that works great. And so I think this will be kind of a cool thing, and I'm actually looking forward to having this because it tastes so good. So I can do a recap. 2 bags of cranberries, 12 ounces each. 2 pints of blueberries. Wash them, make sure they're washed. Start cooking the cranberries with 1.5 cups of water is what I used. Start boiling it until the cranberries soften up so that all that goodness comes out. Add your blueberries, and again, those are going to break down too. I used 1 apple and I chopped it up. Size, it doesn't really matter. I used an average size apple, so baseball size, softball size. You know, so chop that up, get your peels off. Add that in there. Again, that's a natural sugar. Your blueberries are a natural sugar, although it's not as sweet as white sugar. Add in the ginger was my choice. You do not have to add ginger in. It's just something for medicinal reasons that I added in there. I could have added more, but I want to make sure my husband's okay with how this tastes. He hates ginger. And I don't know if any of you have ever had that ginger drink they give you before a colonoscopy. I will never do that again. That's awful. That has both of us like, nope, not gonna do that. And it was so bad that halfway through I called the office at night and I said, I can't come in. They go, why? I said, because this stuff is making me sick, nauseously sick. So they asked me, how much did you use? I said, I used half of it. And they said, do you think you're cleaned out? I know this is kind of a weird topic with cranberry sauce, but I said, I think so. So I went and everything was fine. But it's like, oh my word. So I hadn't used ginger root in a lot of things since then. And that was like a while ago. Let's just say I'm due and I won't do another one. But so that, I think they're doing those procedures very differently now. I think they provide a different drink, but ginger is actually really good for you, and I can go into how it supports your immune system and stuff. But too much can have an interesting effect. So if you want to add ginger root to it, just a smidgen. You don't need to put a cup in because you might not like that one. Add a little nutmeg, add a little bit of cinnamon, and you don't have to use the sticks like I did. Just sprinkle in what you want. You can put pomegranate. I almost put pomegranate in it, and I have 2 pomegranates here. But I think I'm going to use those for something else. So we got all that, and just add enough maple syrup so that it's tart and has some sweetness so that the tartness doesn't make you kind of like, ugh. You know, you don't want to have your guests having to have to pucker up buttercup type thing. So just that's about it. I think you get the gist of it. So what I'm going to do with this, it's cooling down, and once it's done cooling, I will put it into some sterile jars, and I will water bath some, and then the others, I'm going to put one jar in the refrigerator for Thanksgiving, and it will be fine. Today is Monday. Thanksgiving is on Thursday. If my husband decides that, hey, Laura, let's have something to use that, I don't care. This will be great on your turkey sandwiches that you make. My husband loves to make a turkey sandwich with stuffing turkey and cranberry sauce. He's always loved that. I always thought it was weird, but you know, a lot of people do that. If you make a casserole, you can make a casserole with your turkey and your potatoes and your other root vegetables. After you bake it, and you don't have to put any gravy on top, after you bake it together, maybe put some butter on top or something. Add a little bit of cranberry sauce after it comes out. You will be so pleased with that, just to add a little bit of a variation. So I hope this gives you an idea of what you can do for Thanksgiving. This is just one thing that I make at Thanksgiving time. And the reason that I start things early is because I have learned over the years that I don't want to spend my whole day in the kitchen making food and not relaxing. Thanksgiving is a time of celebration, of being thankful for what you have. And I am thankful for my time, and I appreciate it when I can get it. So I do a little bit at a time so that I am ready for the holiday. And I actually might make a pie sooner, but I know that if I make it, he's going to eat it right away, and that's fine. I really don't care. And but I'm going to try to get a pumpkin pie made from the fresh pumpkin that I have here. And I also might make some pumpkin squash soup. And I'm trying to do more of that kind of stuff. And I haven't even pulled out a turkey yet. I don't even know if I'm going to do a turkey. Maybe I'll go get a small turkey or something. I just haven't decided, but he might decide that he wants a whole turkey. So, you know, it's whatever he decides. He's sleeping, so I'm not going to go get it out of the freezer or go to the store right now. And once he gets up, he'll be able to tell me what he wants. So, cranberry sauce is on the menu. So, folks, I know I babbled. It's first thing in the morning. I'm waking up. So, I hope that this was resourceful. And I hope you stayed with me, but I understand if you didn't. And I hope that you have some ideas here. The key thing is, you don't have to go with the traditional recipes. And I was trying to figure out if I could easily find that recipe, and I couldn't. But because I had my own, and I couldn't find anything. And I said, okay, I just want the blueberries, the applesauce with the cranberries. And this turned out perfect. So I hope it's helpful to you, and I hope that you enjoy making it if you decide to do that. Have a great day, and may God bless you.